Greetings, I'm Mark from Unlimited Story, a channel dedicated to writing, world building, marketing, and most importantly, getting things done. If that's interesting to you, consider subscribing or hitting up our website, unlimited-story.com. In this video, I will be covering Variant Loki, which is the Loki in the Loki series, which is actually different than the one that goes all the way through the MCU series and gets this tragic death. So if you want a quick recap of the difference between what the Loki is in the series as opposed to the Loki that we know and love, stick around because that's what I'm going to cover. And welcome back. So what you really need to watch to fully understand Variant Loki are two movies, which is Thor and the Avengers. And there are some key clips that I've pulled that are actually really make up the entirety of why Loki is the way he is and will be for the series. The first one actually has nothing to do with Loki. It's actually done by Odin and really sets the premise for, well, everything, which is that Odin is the big liar, not Loki. Like, that is really the key here, because what Odin does sets up everything for the entirety of Asgard.
Thor, Odin's son, my heir, my firstborn.
My firstborn. Liar. Everyone knows if you watch Thor Ragnarok, Hela is the firstborn. But hey, somehow we're just gonna look over that and somehow everyone just forgot about her. Like everyone in the city, you're telling me that there's no one old enough to just remember that he had a daughter? No. Alright, fine.
This was to be my day of triumph. It'll come. In time. What's this? If it's any consolation, I think you're right. Well, frost giants, about Loki, about everything. If they found a way to penetrate Asgard's defenses once, who's to say they won't try again? Next time with an army. Exactly. There's nothing you can do without defying father. No, I know.
So this is actually the first scene where Loki says anything. And might I also add, it's not even a lie. He's just kind of motivating. So he already has a plan. He's like, I am going to get Thor in some trouble. Here's the thing. He, at this point, is not really trying to do anything overly malicious. He has it in his mind that Thor is a bad leader. And in many ways, he has more foresight than everybody else. Because Odin didn't see him being a bad leader. And everyone's just blind to the fact that Thor is terrible in his current state. He is an awful leader. And giving him the throne would just be terrible. Loki is the only one there who's trying to do, like, good, right? Like, he sees the problems. So he set up a plan, and he's like, I'm gonna manipulate my stupid brother.
Father fought his way into Jotunheim, defeated their armies, and took their casket.
So this little clip was actually key because really it just shows that Loki's right. Thor's an idiot. He's falling for Loki's like little ploy, and it's so stupid because he is doing the worst possible things. He is inciting more violence, which again just proves that Thor is a terrible choice to be the king of Asgard.
What happened? Silvertongue turned to lead?
Alright, so this clip is really important because of a few key things. Already people are suspecting Loki of doing mischief, which he's the God of Mischief. I mean, people, I guess, would expect that if that is your name. But here's the thing. Okay, Loki's friends aren't really his friends. He hangs out with them because of Thor. Thor is clearly the popular one. Everyone's friends with him because of that. Loki is the outsider of that friendship circle and clearly the butt of the joke. So there is a level of resentment that will come with that. Even though that these are, in reality, these are Loki's friends. They really are, because he has no other friends. They still, mock him. Okay, so there's resentment there, and remember, this is thousands of years in the making. Okay, these guys aren't born, recently. So this type of activity, as well as living in the shadow of his brother for thousands of years, will do some damage to you psychologically.
How did the
Asgard even know?
I told him.
What?
I told him to go to Odin after we'd left. He should be flogged for taking so long. We should never have reached Jotunheim.
You told the god?
I saved our lives. And Thor's. I had no idea Father would banish him for what he did.
Loki, you must go to the Allfather and convince him to change his mind.
If I do that, what? I love Thor more dearly than any of you, but you know what he is. He's arrogant, he's reckless, he's dangerous. You saw how he was today. Is that what Asgard needs from its king?
So the first thing I really want to point out is Loki has yet to lie that we've seen, okay? All his actions have just led to what he sees as helping Asgard. And he is right. He saved his friends, okay? He is helping Asgard. And yes, okay, fine. Lady Sif says that he's resentful of Thor. Yeah, he is. He really is. And in this next clip, you are going to see exactly why.
You took me for a purpose. What was it? Tell me!
I thought we could unite our kingdoms one day, bring about an alliance, bring about a permanent peace through you. But those plans no longer matter.
So, Parent of the Year award definitely goes to Odin for telling his adopted son thousands of years too late that he's adopted, and also that he is now worthless. Okay? I was going to try to make peace with these people, but whatever.
So I am no more than another stolen relic, locked up here until you might have use of me.
Why'd you twist my words?
You could have told me what I was from the beginning. Why didn't you?
You're my son. I wanted only to protect you from the truth.
Well, because I'm the monster that parents tell their children about at night?
No.
You know, it all makes sense now. Why you favored Thor all these years. Because no matter how much you claim to love me, you can never have a frost giant sitting on the throne of Asgard.
The key thing with this clip isn't necessarily that Loki is really upset, right? Like, okay, I've been lied to for thousands of years. It's actually at the end when he realized, like, I have hurt my father accidentally, and I actually care about him. So even though all that terrible stuff has happened, yes, he is angry, frustrated, and so on, he still cares about Odin because Odin's really his dad. That is his dad to him.
All of us must stand together for the good of Asgard. Yes, of course. Good, then you will wait for my word.
If I may, beg the indulgence of Your Majesty to perhaps reconsider.
We're done.
So the first thing I really want to say about this clip is that 1, Loki is a really good leader. 2, he's right. They need to stand united. And 3, he is the king. So just please listen to me, okay? You're supposed to be my friends. But then, and this goes back to what the scene on the bridge too, they laugh at him. They don't even take him seriously because he's not Warrior Thor. And then he's like, all right, well, now I have to kind of put down my foot. So now he's kind of realizing, like, I am the king, and I have to start, doing my job.
How long will it last?
I don't know. This time it's different. We were unprepared.
So why did he lie?
He kept the truth from you so that you would never feel different. You are our son, Loki, and we your family. We mustn't lose hope that your father will return to us. And your brother.
What hope is there for Thor?
There's always a purpose to everything your father does.
So this is actually the turning point for Loki, okay? This is where things change from, hey, I'm doing some mischievous stuff to kind of protect the kingdom, to I am now the king. We now have some huge problems. How can I solve them? I am aware that my father does stuff. Okay, there's reasons for it. But now I need to start thinking like a king. So this is a big transition in Loki's mindset, and where essentially he's starting to lie. Like, he is starting to lay the groundwork, as he knows how, to protect the kingdom, to be the king. So at this point right now, I still would not consider Loki a bad guy because he is not doing anything truly malicious, okay? He is doing the things that he believes is right. And really, if you are thinking about this as Loki as the main character, as a protagonist instead of Thor, I gotta agree, like, he is doing good things. So one other thing I do want to point out is that if Thor didn't exist, okay, if Thor wasn't the protagonist, pretty much everyone would be agreeing with Loki. Like, these are good choices that he's going to be making. Yeah, okay, there's a little bit of manipulation and so on, but how many people are being hurt by this? How many people are being injured by what he is doing as a leader? He is protecting them from war. He is making, like, good decisions. Like, it's not that bad of an idea given what he has been handed to as the king.
Glad to see you.
What's happened? Tell me, is it Jotunheim? Let me explain to Father.
Father is dead.
So this is Loki's big lie, okay? Basically, he is trying to keep Thor down there. And honestly, for Loki, it's a really great choice. His brother's not dead, doesn't have to feel guilty about killing him or anything like that. And two, he can go and enjoy himself. Loki's got the throne, he can take care of things, he is competent, and Thor doesn't have to die. Really, no one's being hurt by this. So again, in Loki's mind, he is doing a very, very good thing.
That was just a bit of fun, really. To ruin my brother's big day. And to protect the realm from his idiotic rule for a while longer.
I will hear you.
I will conceal you and a handful of your soldiers, lead you into Odin's chambers, and you can slay him where he lies.
So this clip right here is really important because it shows how truly intelligent Loki is and how far kind of like he has planned along, which I know is going to be playing a huge role in the Loki series because it characterizes that Loki is intelligent, that he is, you know, he is a planner and he knows what to say to motivate people. And that's just, it's incredible. So this right here is excellent. And the next clip it's amazing. So this clip is actually really amazing because one, Loki defends the father who raises him. Two, kills the father who abandoned him. And three, he's like, you got killed by Odin's son. Okay. He didn't say you got killed by the guy you abandoned. Okay. So this isn't like getting back at him. This is him defending his father. And also, there's a very key reason he said that, because if his father is listening, okay, his father has this Odin sleep vision type stuff. Loki knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. And it was very, very well done. I mean, Loki is right up there. He's a smart guy for this plan. No joke.
Why have you done this?
To prove to Father that I am the worthy son. When he wakes, I will have saved his life. I will have destroyed that race of monsters, and I will be true heir to the throne.
You can't kill an entire race.
Why not?
Once again, Loki is not lying or manipulating anything. He is being completely honest. He just wants to be a good leader, okay? And this is how he knows how, based on his skill set, based on his life, based on his knowledge. There is one huge flaw to Loki, like as far as a character that kind of makes him into a villain, which is his superiority complex. He thinks he is absolutely above the frost giants. He thinks he's above humans, which will come into play a little bit later.
I never wanted the throne. I only ever wanted to be your equal.
I never wanted the throne. I only wanted to be your equal. Wow. Is anyone surprised by this? Because if you're watching this movie from the Loki lens, right, instead of watching it for Thor, you're watching it for Loki, it all makes sense, right? Like, hey, I have been under your, in your shadow. I have been loved the second most for my entire life because in reality, I am not your brother. In reality, I am not our father's son. So all of a sudden, the resentment is really coming out there. And, it's warranted. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, if you were in Loki's shoes, wouldn't you feel the same way? Like, it makes perfect sense.
I could have done it, Father. I could have done it. For you.
Once again, some great parenting from Odin. Your son is legitimately hanging over an abyss, and you're like, nah. He's opening his heart. He's trying to talk to you, and you're just not having any of it. Honestly, Odin is the bad guy. He is the ultimate bad guy. He is the one making all the villains in Asgard. That's it. That's the truth. Odin is the bad guy.
Maybe unlimited power.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
All right, and this is the clip at the very, very end of Thor, which leads us into the Avengers. And it's great because now you see Loki is detached. He's like, he's cut his ties with Asgard more or less out of, necessity, which we'll see in the next clip. But now this is where we see the ultimate deep and dark version of Loki. And this is really what we're gonna see from the variant Loki in the Loki series. All right, so now Loki has some really great bad guy motivation, right? Because he has talked himself into a pickle, and now he has to proceed with his plans. Yes, we all knew he kind of had a superiority complex, but now everything's just kind of bumped up. So he went from being just a character who didn't want Thor to rule, and a good character, to being thrown into abyss, and now has motivation to do bad guy things. Makes sense, right?
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power.
So Loki's big monologue, where he is walking through the crowd of people kneeling in front of him, to him, there is so much truth to it. He's like, you guys just need to be ruled because you are doing, basically you're killing each other, which we'll find out very, very soon. And so he is doing a good thing for them. Hey, you guys will be ruled. Things are going to be, you'll be safer. You'll be happier. To him.
We were raised together. We played together. We fought together. Do you remember none of that?
I remember a shadow. Living in the shade of your greatness.
I'll give some credit to Thor trying to talk some sense into his brother, but I mean, what did you expect? That your brother's going to forget the thousands of years of resentment that he has for living in your shadow and being lied to? I mean, it's going to take a little bit more than you pulling him out of a jet thing and throwing him onto the ground. So try a little harder there, big bro.
And you're doing a marvelous job with that. The humans slaughter each other in droves while you idly fret. I mean to rule them. But why should I not?
You think yourself above them?
Oh, yes.
And there it is. Loki just puts Thor in his place. You are doing a terrible job looking over Earth. We're killing each other. What are you doing? You're just chilling up in your cloud city. And all Thor can be like is, oh, you think you're better than them. So, of course, Loki is like, yeah, I mean, I'm older, I'm wiser, I'm a god. So, yeah, in many ways, I can see why he'd say that.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
And now we have Loki basically just standing up to the Hulk, which clearly wasn't a good idea, but whatever. They have to beat up Loki. I mean, pretty much everyone gets to beat up Loki, which stinks. He couldn't kill Iron Man. He got beat up by Thor. Gets beat up by the Hulk. He basically just loses to everyone in a one-on-one, which, there's a lot to Loki. He's not a fighter. He is a trickster, but he doesn't really get to use his magic very often, which I don't fully understand. I mean, honestly, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, he's a bard. Like, that is all he is. He is a talking piece with some illusions and some tricky stuff, and he better get a sweet weapon, because otherwise he's not hurting anybody. So, either way, he decides to tell off the Hulk. Clearly, that does not work, and he is sitting in a pile of his own rubble. All right, so this is the big scene. That is how we get Variant Loki and therefore our Loki series. So this is the most evil version of Loki, where he has gone through his arc. He is a bad guy. He just got cleaned up by the Avengers. So he's probably pretty bitter and he's pretty angry. So if you're interested in watching the entire arc that Loki goes through, which would be all the movies beyond this, where he eventually gets killed by Thanos, I do have another video about that. Go take a look. It is in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, just subscribe or watch one of my other videos that I have up. Peace.